Shalom, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to all you brothers out there teaching this word in truth and sincerity and in faith on the highways and hedges. And shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm going to do a video here on the San Francisco mayor saying there's more feces than she's ever seen. Right? She's born and raised in San Francisco. All right, grew up in the projects, and she can tell you the city is a lot worse than it ever was. The new mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, is beside herself, the abject squalor resulting from decades of progressive policies that encourage homeless residents to use the streets as a personal toilet. In an interview with local station NBC Bay Area, Breed acknowledged that the poo-coated city she was born and raised in has a huge problem. I will say there are more feces on the sidewalks than I've ever seen growing up here. This is a huge problem. We are not just talking about dogs. We're talking about from humans. Yeah, humans are taking shits all over the streets of San Francisco. It is a real shitty place. Unfortunately, our solution is simply ask the city's estimated 7,500 vagrants to kindly stop with all the street squatting and clean up after themselves. Consider that 39% of homeless surveyed in San Francisco claim to have mental health issues. When pressed about whether her plan calls for harsher penalties against those who litter and defecate on the streets, she said, "I didn't express anything about a penalty." Instead, Mayor says she has encouraged nonprofits to talk to their clients who, unfortunately, were mostly responsible for the conditions on the streets. "I work hard to make sure our programs are funded for the purpose of trying to get these individuals help, and that they're spending millions of dollars and it's just getting worse." All right. The huge problem isn't restricted to poo either. The city is full of drug addicts who are more or less allowed to do their own thing. On Friday, 2 days after Breed was sworn in office, she went onto a jaunt around the city, an afternoon stroll, where a guy was prepping to shoot up as she walked by. I will play a video real quick. Edomite. And just about to shoot it up. She's having a good, nice afternoon stroll. And Esau's about to shoot up, man. Let a nigga smoke crack, you're gonna beat him to death. But Esau, man, he's allowed to do it. This is his heaven. San Francisco will spend about $280 million this year on homeless and housing services, roughly 40% higher than the city spent 5 years ago. Meanwhile, the number of homeless has remained more or less steady at 7,500. The city spent $65 million in 2017 on street cleaning and will boost that by $13 million over the next 2 years. Yeah, so this place is full of shit, right? All this money's getting spent on these homeless people to just do more drugs. And you can just see, I'll put the link in the description. Trash on every block, 100, look, let me read this. Recent NBA investigation into alarming volume of trash, drug needles, and fecal matter around 153 block area of San Francisco, and we teach in this area, revealed trash on every block, 100 needles, and more than 300 piles of feces along a 20-mile stretch of streets and sidewalks. Overall sanitation score, disgusting. You got little kids walking around. Yep, spends $30 million cleaning feces. So that's where all the money's going, man. And you can see here, I saw this article. This is one chart puts this is Market Watch, put mega tech's trillions of market value into eye-popping perspective. Here it is, San Francisco is home to Apple, Alphabet, which is Google, and Facebook. And they're worth half of all these other big, huge companies, man. You got CBS in here, PG&E, multinational corporations, right? And Apple, and these 5 companies take it all, and 3 of them are pretty much in San Francisco. So all these millions of dollars, trillions, excuse me, let me read it. In his tweet noted that top 5 S&P 500 companies, Apple Inc., Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, are combined worth 4.095 trillion versus the 4.092 trillion of the bottom 282 companies. And this is the S&P 500. These are no small companies, man. That's $4 trillion. So that's the whole market share. They got all the money. They're just sitting on money. Doing what with it? Perpetuating more and more disgusting place, more than just disgusting shit on the streets. That's what they're doing. Okay, that's all it's leading to. It says that Victoria says I can smell it. I'll post the link in the description. I'm bringing a couple scriptures. This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's exactly what's happening, man. The 7,500 vagrants, homeless, mentally ill. You're spending all that millions of dollars of money just to keep them on the streets. They don't want to house them, or we're housing them, or whatever. But they're spending all that money while all our people, the Israelites, are suffering, man. And the so-called white man just gets richer and richer. Why is that? Because the wicked are in authority. The wicked beareth rule. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay? This is Proverbs 28:15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. And the people are poor, man. And you can see who's getting rich. The very, very few, man. The so-called white man. The elites. Because they're the owners of those companies. How the fuck did I get that slot? Yeah, about 246,000 syringes. All right, and why is so many people doing drugs? Because the so-called white man's forcing them on the drugs, right? He's getting them addicted. He's getting them, turning them into complete bug outs. Okay, why? Because as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the people. Okay, the prince that wanteth understanding is also a great ruler, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. And the prince, the so-called white man, he has no understanding. He's not a prince. He's the basis of men. Okay? This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they prescribed. That's exactly what the progressive policies. $40 million, all those millions of dollars going where? Going straight on the shit on the streets. Literally. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of the visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory? Yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. Right? You're taking away the right from the poor of my people. The poor of the Israelites, right? You're just letting us die in the streets. Yeah, they're showing all these Edomites doing needles. But what are you doing to Israel? You're putting us in jail, man. You're allowing Esau, because the so-called white man, you're the main homeless people. Yeah, Jake is out there, but Jake's been out there. The increase in the homeless are you Edomites. You're increasing, okay? The increase in the drugs is you Edomites. You're increasing the drugs. Jake's been on the drugs, all right? Jake's been in the system. It's you Edomites that are increasing. Why? Because your daddy, the so-called white man, Esau, he don't give a fuck about you. He's ready to put you to death. I'm going to bring out a quick verse. This is Ezekiel 22:23. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto her, Thou art the land that is not cleansed, nor rained upon in the day of indignation. There is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. And I have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I have profaned among them. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophets had daubed them with untempting mortar, seeing vanity, divining lies in them, saying, Thus saith the Lord God, when the Lord hath not spoken. The people of the land have used oppression, and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge, and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I have found none. Therefore I have poured out my indignation upon them. I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath. Their own way have I recompensed upon their heads, saith the Lord power. And this is an example of what the Most High is going to do to America, right? Because America does all these things itself. It uses oppression, it exercises robbery, it vexes the poor and needy, it oppresses the stranger wrongfully. Because what are you doing to the stranger now? You that are Israelites. You're taking their children away from them, man. So that's why the Most High is going to completely wipe this place out. And you can see he's wiping it out as we speak. He's flushing this place down the drain. He's filling it with wickedness, evils that just need to be eradicated. And the only way to get rid of it is not by throwing money at it. It's by throwing nuclear missiles at it. All right? That's the only way that this place is going to be healed. By destroying it, sacrificing it. Right? With that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash.